Hello everyone, welcome back. I hope you're doing absolutely fantastic, and today we're back with another Microsoft Flight Simulator video, and in this one we're going to be taking another look at the Salty 747. They are improving the stock 747 we have, the 747-8. As you can see, it's the same model as the one we have in-game, default stock. At least I'm pretty sure it is. And they just released an update, and I've been testing this, and it's working really nice. This is very much flyable, and it's a really nice aircraft. It's a gorgeous aircraft. The Queen of the Skies. As always, I'm gonna be taking a look on the inside. I'm gonna show some of the new things. We're gonna do a quick takeoff just so I can show you guys the way this works, the way this flies. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, it helps me out a lot. And it also lets me know you guys are enjoying the content. And I will have a link in my description down below so you can download this. So let's go back to the inside. This is the inside. As you can see, good old 747. Very standard 747. I'm gonna go over some of the new things we have, and then I'm gonna turn on the aircraft and show them, at least most of them. On this update, we got SimBrief integration. I think that's huge. I really like that. Now, we can also have weather meter and ATIS requests. There's also a redesign of all displays, and the engine fuel flow was increased to a more realistic figure. Now there's a new custom-made Boeing font. That's really nice. There were a few improvements to the VNav, and now we can switch between pounds and kilos on the flight computer. Those are like very few things I mentioned. If you want to check the whole changelog, it's going to be under GitHub on the release. This one is 0.3.0. And look at this. So you have the quick views on the 747, so control 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then overhead control 8. Let's turn on the external power, which is available. There we go. And let's move back here. As you can see, we don't really have anything here. Look at the new displays. Look at this, looking good. Let's go back up. Up here we have this, bam. And let's start the APU, which is start APU. And bumps. I might mess up one or two things. I have not done this many times, so bear with me as we go along. I think everything's looking good. I'm going off the top of my head. The checklist in-game, I think it's a little bit lackluster. As you can see, this is all we have, and then starting engine, thrust levers, and then the engine. If you're looking for the start switch, this is it. This is the starter, so engine 4, and so on and so forth. So, let's turn on the beacon. Beacon is on. Let's turn on the nav as well, because why not? And we still have not aligned yet, so let's go to the FMC, which is right there. Just stare straight ahead, just look to your left, or even better, we can move to the side. There we go. So this is the default screen you're gonna have straight, like as soon as you load in, as soon as you turn this on. So here we have Salty. Sim Brief. If you go on Sim Brief, you can plop down your Sim Brief ID here. It's gonna be 6 numbers, and you can get those numbers by going on the Sim Brief website. And when you're basically filling up your new flight, there's a box called Captain Name, and on the right side you have Pilot ID. It's gonna be, I think, 6 numbers, maybe a little bit more. Just copy down those numbers, plot them down here, and then you can basically load your flight from SimBrief. So IRS, it's still aligning, but what we can do is instantly align this. There we go. Just want to show this working. Let's go back to the options. Now we have METAR, and we can choose between these. Let's go back. So many options. Units, this is where we switch between pounds and kilos. As you can see, it's switching here on the right side. Let's go back to kilos, and that is back to the first screen. Here we have maintenance, which we can check the sensors, outside our temperature, moving back, cost index, check airline policy. That's clear. Here we have the FMC 747-8 position. Let's plot this down here. And here on route, request send. Since I have my SimBrief pilot ID in here, I'm just gonna go send. And there we go. This is the flight I basically filed on SimBrief just so I can show this is working. And we can load. There we go, it's loaded. Your fuel, by the way, you kind of have to set yourself, as far as I know. This is the default you get when you first go into the when you first start the flight. I didn't really touch this. So this is looking good. Let's accept this. Let's go here. Okay, let's go for takeoff. Flaps. I guess we can do flaps 10. Yeah, let's do flaps 10. And then V1, rotate, and V2. Okay, looking good. Next page. As you can see, it's pretty well done. Here on route, let's change this. It's gonna be easier this way. Okay. Let's go to plan. There we go. It's not showing here yet, but it will in a second. Let's do departure. And let's do departure. And we are set for 18 right. And we're gonna do 18 right, and we're gonna arrive at, I usually leave this open until we are on approach, but according to SimBrief, we're gonna do 13 right. 13 right. We're gonna, according to SimBrief, we're gonna be doing 13 right. There we go. Execute. Here we have all the lags. This was basically loaded from the SimBrief flight plan. It's working. So let's go to route. think it's on legs, isn't it? Okay, so we're in the flight plan page. We want to do legs. This way we can kind of have a look at our route. And let's move back closer. And here on legs, this is what it looks like. Hold doesn't really do anything yet. ATC, VNav, fix doesn't really do much. Menu is back to the first screen we saw. This is the nav, it's working. Route, we've seen it. Progress. Now let's move back and let's start the engines. So let's we're gonna start the AC after we have started the engines. You guys go on nav. Starter 4, engine 4. And then we just have to wait for this to stabilize, and then we're gonna repeat the same process for every other engine. And we're gonna be right back. And we have all 4 engines running. Let's go back on the inside and we can turn off the APU. External power is still on, so let's... We could be on the APU gen, we're not. Let's turn on the battery. Yeah. But now we are on the gen. Did I turn on the APU gen? I don't really remember. If I didn't, sorry about that. Okay, so let's turn the APU off. Okay, standby power is on off. Nav. Okay, looking good. We are gonna be turning on the taxi lights. And everything's looking good, except the bleeds. We are cleared for takeoff. So clear right, clear left. ATC did ask us to take off with no delay, so I'm just gonna turn left with the runway. Kind of line up, and we're gonna take off. And hey there, you kind of spawned there just now. I'm gonna pretend I didn't see that, and you're gonna pretend I'm not running you over. And we are on runway 36 right. And full throttle. Let's fix the heading as we are going. We do have V1, rotate, and V2 as you can see. Rotate. Positive rate gear up. Look at this. Such a beautiful aircraft. Let's move slightly to the left so we can align ourselves with the route. There we go. Let's try and follow the flight director. Let's start retracting our flaps. There we go. And let's turn the autopilot, so we're gonna go lateral navigation, auto throttle, autopilot. There we have it. So landing gear is up, flaps is not up yet. Flaps 1. Hey, easy there, autopilot. Easy there. Flaps fully up. I'm not too sure what the autopilot's doing, but it is still on. Let's turn on VNav. I do know we're below 10,000 and we're gonna go slightly over the 250 limit. But flaps are up, gears up. Even though we have 10,000 here on the VNav, we should have flight level 390, I believe. Yes, flight level 390. And there's this speed restriction below 10,000, and we are doing 263. Let's move a little bit to the right. So here we can see the flight level. Okay. Okay, let's move back to progress. As you can see, this is working. It's very much working. It did a little bit of a... I'm not gonna say nosedive, but... Was it a full dolphin? I believe that's what it's called. It did move a little bit. Okay, so now that we're above 10,000, we're gonna speed up to 343. This is all the VNav. And let's move back to the VNav. As you can see, speed 343. The auto brake does work. If you want to fly this, it does work. And up here, let's turn off the landing lights. Okay, so it does look like we are stable. Let's go off LNAV for a bit on heading mode. 360. I just want to show that this aircraft is working. Here, like, we have two knobs, the bigger one in the back and the smaller one. This is basically the bank limiter, so it's going to limit the degrees of your bank. So 5, 10, 15, and let's do 350, 349, that's fine. 349 is fine. Here you can see the screen. And I gotta say, this is an aircraft that it looks good and it's fun to fly. Now let's do limit to 5 and let's move back to, let's try and follow the flight plan on 004. As you can see, it's just a small bank on 5 degrees. Very, very small bank. And then 10. We're so close we might not do a full 10. Actually, we are gonna do a full 10. There we go. Vertical speed does work as well. And when I mentioned the VNAV, as you can see, we have 10,000 selected here, and yeah, we're climbing, and we're gonna climb to flight level 390, I believe, yeah. We're climbing to cruise altitude. Let's go back to LNAV. Here we have the weather radar. And just so I can show the weather, I'm gonna change the weather a bit. Okay, so now we have some fun weather. Really, really fun weather. Let's turn flight level change, VNAV again. Yeah, it's kind of struggling to pick up speed with this weather. The weather is, it's not too great. Well, which gives us a nice excuse to use the vertical speed. So 390, and let's do flight level change and vertical speed. We could have gone to vertical speed out of the gate, I believe, but there we go, 1500. I did remember to turn on the anti-ice, but yeah, as you can see, the weather is working. Turning off, back on again. Station, waypoint, airport. We're not gonna see terrain from all the way up here, I believe, but it was worth showing. And if you're curious, this is hurricane conditions by SoFly. Weather preset pro hurricane conditions. Let's go. Let's move elsewhere. Let's go choose spring sunshine. And just like that, we just cleared our weather. And let's turn on the VNAV again. And this is the Salty 747, the latest release. At least at the time of this recording, this is the version 0.3.0. As always, I will have a link in my description down below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe. It helps me out a lot. It also lets me know you guys are enjoying the content. And wherever you are, I hope you stay safe, fly safe. Bye bye.